it's kind of interesting. Is pretty much the streaming wars with like Twitch, Rumble, Kick, and Spotify, all that kind of stuff. Um, but I like yeah, I think they're talking about like mostly the music industry, but we'll see. It's about music, so I'm thinking like when I saw the title, it's like streaming, like Twitch and Kick. So let's see what they mean by this. Let's see what they mean by this.
Live streaming is seemingly the biggest and most lucrative thing on the internet right now, but it's all going to come to an end very soon.
Wait, what?
It may
Why?
feel like a golden age for some, their favorite streamers being signed for deca million-dollar deals, with some reports saying it was in the 100 million plus range, with options competing with the longtime Twitch, namely Rumble and Kick, also
Right.
YouTube. It may seem like this is all great, and to a degree it is, but it isn't something we haven't already seen in the music industry. Rewind to March 30th, 2015. Jay-Z, Madonna, Kanye West, Beyonce, Nicki Minaj all came together to reveal the mystery behind why so many superstars had changed their Twitter profiles to this light blue color. And it was for the launch announcement of Tidal, a new streaming platform. At this point in time, the big player in the game was Spotify. There was Pandora also, which was known for Pandora Radio, but it was still the age when there was a decent amount of internet piracy when downloading new albums and organizing iTunes.
And you know what's funny though? Jay-Z's the one kind of control his music. You can't really, I believe you can't download his music at all, right? Or it's very hard to get his music. Like Jay-Z put a lot of money in order to stop his privacy of his songs.
Libraries wasn't something that was out of the norm, as well as a large amount of mixtape sites such as DatPiff, Live Mixtapes, and others who were still thriving with rappers on there creating original music.
The mixtape website,
but the industry was shifting. Artists were having a problem with the payouts of platforms like Spotify, and Jay-Z saw a gap in the market and wanted to take over. With the launch of Tidal, they clearly didn't have the user base that Spotify did, but the angle that Jay-Z took was the following. Artist-owned. Jay-Z set aside a majority of the company shares to be held by the artists that were in the promotion for Tidal and who agreed to have their music on the platform. This incentivized these artists to push it hard, but he also hoped that the fans would care enough about how much the artists get paid to want to support them on a platform that they were going to get more from than Spotify. This wouldn't be very effective. Fans already see these artists as multi-millionaires while they're still struggling. They're not going to be sympathetic to their cause at a loss of their own convenience.
That was a bad
black-owned business. Jay-Z also tried to highlight the importance of people supporting a black man that was going to compete with, quote, white companies in the streaming space that were taking advantage of black artists.
That is a marketing thing.
This was actually really effective.
Yeah,
exclusive content. Thing. Tidal was offering exclusive albums, live performances, and more from their artist owners. This was going to be a unique selling point moving forward. Keep in mind that all of this is months before Apple Music was launched in June of 2015, just a couple months later. People's reactions were mixed. Those that already had Spotify likely weren't going to switch, and the majority of hip-hop were still used to either the old way of buying music or were the demographic that wasn't used to paying for music. But many people did sign up for the exclusive releases, namely Jay-Z's entire catalog that he had pulled from every other streaming platform, including YouTube, for the months following. Jay-Z had millions of fans, and a lot of his fans were older guys that weren't really familiar with streaming platforms as a whole, so this was likely the first platform that they would sign up to. Rihanna's Bitch Better Have My Money was one of the first singles to be exclusively released on Tidal and wouldn't appear on Spotify until later. Taylor Swift's music was on Tidal for a while, and she was heavily against Spotify for a long period of time, having her music pulled from there. Rihanna's Anti album was exclusively released on Tidal. Beyonce's Lemonade album in 2016 was exclusively released on Tidal.
Really? I didn't know that.
And remained there for years. Kanye West's highly anticipated The Life of Pablo was a Tidal exclusive for weeks, the initial plan being to keep it on Tidal for a couple of weeks, then release it on his site. But he would change his...
So he was taking it like kind of like a game exclusive. You know, like some games are exclusive, but only for like a year or two, right? Like Street Fighter 5, I believe, was just exclusive for a certain time, and then it was released to other platforms. I think I could be wrong about that. But yeah, there are some like So I guess he was just taking like some gaming titles, right? They're exclusive for like a year or so. In this case, a couple months, and after that, they could release it anywhere else. Because I mean, that's why artists will sign up for it. I mean, I don't think they'll sign up for it if they're limited of where you could put your music in, all and where they can make like money on that. You know, they will not limit that. Like, because yeah, I mean, I think that's like when you get exclusive, people don't really like that, right? Because it's just limiting your way to make money.
Plans and announced that it would only ever be available to Tidal subscribers and it would never be on Apple. But it was eventually available on all streaming platforms after about a month.
So,
In 2017,
oh my God,
Jay-Z's 444 album was exclusively released on Tidal for a week, as well as deadmau5's Where's the Drop for a week in 2018. While Tidal was first to the races, Apple Music would soon come after them in June of 2015, constantly clipping at their heels. Keep in mind, Apple Music had access to be able to directly market to every single person that had an iPhone or used iTunes, which was hundreds of millions. And they had a far larger budget for exclusives than Tidal did. Drake was signed to a deal to Apple Music to have his own OVO Sound radio show.
I see what's going on with the streamers. Okay, I see what you mean.
Pharrell's Freedom single was released exclusively on there. On August 14th, 2015, Dr. Dre's first album since 2001, Compton, a soundtrack, was released alongside the movie as an Apple Music exclusive. This had the level of anticipation of a Detox, which never released, so this generated a ton of buzz. Not to mention the free trials that Apple Music was able to dish out to bring a lot of first-time users to streaming in America.
Oh yeah, I got the free trial.
2016 is where things would peak for the streaming wars, as you saw with Tidal. Both Beyonce and Kanye West, huge releases, but also for Apple Music. Future was coming off his hottest year yet and released Evil as an Apple Music exclusive. Drake's highly anticipated Views was released as an exclusive for a week. Britney Spears' Glory was released exclusively on there for 2 weeks. Taylor Swift's 1989 World Tour live album was released exclusively on there. Chance the Rapper's highly anticipated acid rap follow-up, Coloring Book, was released exclusively on Apple Music for 2 weeks. And Travis Scott's Birds in the Trap Sing McKnight debuted on Apple via his deal with Beats One Radio. But the release that shook everything and was the one to start the beginning of the end of the streaming exclusive wars was none other than Frank Ocean.
Really?
He released a visual album, Endless, exclusively on Apple Music that was part of a plan he had to get out of his record deal with Def Jam.
Yeah, and I believe Frank Ocean is about to release new music, I believe. I like his music, it's chill.
It was pretty much, in short, just a promotional campaign for his real album. Endless album released him from his contract with Def Jam, which led to him releasing Blonde, an Apple Music exclusive, just a day later. Independently, with a deal through Apple Music that was rumored to be $20 million, but that can't be confirmed. This is when Lucian Grange stepped in and said enough is enough. He's the owner of Universal Music, Def Jam was under Universal, and Universal owned most of the recordings of popular artists, and he was done with exclusives. Their argument was that exclusives hurt both fans and record labels. They were right. While piracy was drastically dropping, listeners were frustrated they either had to wait weeks to listen to an album,
and so many different platforms, getting ridiculous, getting annoying. Yeah, I see what it's going.
Or they had to juggle multiple subscriptions to different platforms.
Yeah.
This could incentivize them to pirate the music within the week or weeks they had to wait. Record labels always want as many people as possible buying or listening to the music. But what streaming services were competing for was market share. Where was Spotify this entire time? Well, they weren't paying for exclusives this whole time.
They
doubled down on their playlists and strengthened their algorithm, allowing for more discovery for independent artists. They already had a massive library and a huge market share. The reason why Apple Music and Tidal were paying so much to these artists for exclusives was to build up their subscriber base.
Yeah, they didn't have
They already knew that attaining a user to their platform was the hardest. But once they were subscribed, the likelihood that they would leave to another streaming service was almost zero. And once they had gotten enough,
because once they're used to it, I'm gonna chill here.
Subscribers, they would no longer need to pay for exclusives.
Right.
So this really worked out for everyone. Jay-Z would sell Tidal, making a major bag in the process, while facing backlash for abandoning his quote black-owned business. And Apple Music continues to be really the only place.
I'm not surprised he did that. Like, he saw that he wasn't gonna make as much money anymore. He pretty much was like, you know what, I might as well just make as much money I can right now before it's too late. So
Here in America, that's on par, perhaps ahead of Spotify.
I am not surprised.
While the streaming wars were coming to an end in music, they were only beginning for live streamers. There are two eras of what I would call the live streaming wars. The current one, which is more gambling and IRL, and OF, and the previous one, which was corporations and gaming. Take Microsoft to Mixer, Facebook Gaming, and YouTube Gaming. In 2018, Fortnite was the biggest game, and the biggest creator on this game was Ninja. He had streamed on Twitch his entire gaming career, from Halo to Fortnite, but in 2019 was offered a huge deal to stream on Microsoft's streaming platform.
Damn, was it 2019? Why did I feel wait, so when did Mixer officially die? Was it in 2021 or let's see. Mixer was Mixer died when? In July 22, 2020. So they shut down. So literally almost a year after he signed that contract, that's why he got to pay big, by the way. The license shut down. Damn, bruh.
Or Mixer. Another superstar FPS, first-person shooter, gaming streamer, Shroud, was also signed to Mixer, alongside other names like King Gothalion and deaf Fortnite streamer Ewok. The other streaming platform in the running during this era was YouTube Gaming. This was a tab within YouTube that was for live streamers, in particular gamers. That same time period, end of 2019, early 2020, streamers were also being signed away from Twitch and onto YouTube Gaming. Courage, Valkyrie, Lachlan, Muselk, Laserbeam were some of the names of the big initial wave of signings. Disguised Toast, a massive Hearthstone card game streamer who was also part of the wildly popular group of streamers Offline TV, of which Pokimane is a member, would take a deal to stream on Facebook Gaming,
and he made a lot of money
as
on
would Corinna Koff towards the end of 2019. But in 2020, Mixer would close up shop, which led to streamers like Ninja and Shroud coming back to Twitch with a huge reception. Eventually, Disguised Toast would also come back from Facebook, and it seemed like Twitch was back to the reigning king of streaming, although not without controversy. Twitch was continuously getting a ton of flack from their viewers and streamers, but they wouldn't falter. Anyone they signed to an exclusive deal or a favorable deal, it was done behind the scenes and rarely announced. There were heavy restrictions on Twitch partner deals, which are different from the brand deals.
Not like Kick, they announced everything.
Twitch partners are pretty much anyone with a check mark on Twitch, and a partner was forbidden from live streaming on competitors like YouTube, Facebook, Mixer, which was dead at this point, up until 2022, and are still not allowed to simulcast, which means stream on a bunch of different platforms at once.
Well, actually, alright, so when did this video, he came out with this video 11 hours ago, so he's probably going to update that, because originally TwitchCon, they are allowed to do it now.
And that goes for even non-partners. And they weren't even getting guaranteed payments for being a partner or a salary. In June of 2020, one of the biggest streamers, Dr. Disrespect, was permanently banned from Twitch. There's a long controversy around this, and nobody really knows the reason yet, but he would begin streaming on YouTube, and he still doesn't have a streaming contract with them as of the beginning of this year.
Really?
2020 to 2022 is also when the gambling era of Twitch would take the helm, with the new era of live streaming wars soon to come. Twitch is Spotify, Kick is Apple Music, and Rumble is Tidal. Twitch has relationships with major brands and corporations that allow them to run expensive advertisements on their platforms, something neither Rumble nor Kick has.
No.
There were always deals with online casinos going on, but it was sparse. Companies like Betway were common, but Roobet and Stake are what changed the game.
True.
Roobet, an online crypto-only casino, would initially work with Aiden Ross, FaZe Banks, Mike Majlak, and RiceGum when they were all in that content house together, paying them millions, with some leaks of Aiden Ross getting paid $2 million a month to gamble. Stake would soon start competing, eventually becoming the go-to for Aiden Ross, XQC, Corinna Koff, and their biggest being Trainwreck, an individual named Rothstein, who were primarily gambling streamers, with Trainwreck being known for doing up to 45-hour streams straight of just spinning slots.
God damn.
2021, there would be two monstrous signings for YouTube streaming,
I think
Ludwig and Tim the Tatman. What started to brew on Twitch, though, was the sentiment that these online, unregulated crypto casinos were unethical, getting kids addicted to gambling, and they didn't feel it was good for the viewers or the platform. So Pokimane, alongside many others, joined together to call on Twitch to take action, which they did, and banned it.
Well, they didn't ban it. It was just more restrict than ever. I believe there's only like a market cap. Like you can only gamble to this certain amount. That was like they didn't fully ban because you can still see gambling on Twitch. It's still a thing, unless they completely banned it recently. But I don't think so. Let me see. Let me go to browse real quick. Gamble. Let's see. Or is it slots or something? I forget what it's called. Is it called slots? Let's see. Slots. 13 viewers. Yeah, see, they're still there. Right? It's not as big anymore, obviously, because there's a cap of how long you can do it. But you can still do slots on Twitch. It's never been permanently banned. That's like the misconception. It was just more restrict. It was restricted more. That's pretty much like it. Which it does suck for like especially Trainwrecks, but like he said, he streams a lot, non-stop, right? So they didn't like that, so that's why they made their own platform. Which you could say is like, all right, you want to make your own platform. It is what it is,
During this period of time, it was also locked down worldwide, and many people felt their freedom of speech and movement was restricted, as well as their ability to speak out against the 19, not talking about the amendment, and the election. Leading to the rise of Rumble. Remember how I said Rumble was similar to Tidal? Well, instead of black-owned business, Rumble appealed to the freedom of speech 2A Trump crowd, which was largely white, and felt that they could not only be represented there, but also heard. They were free to explore any conspiracy theories, and as long as it wasn't a call to violence, you were and still are allowed freedom of speech on Rumble.
True.
Rumble was first and foremost seen as a political platform, even extreme, which perhaps had some merit at the beginning. But it's important to note they were not primarily a streaming platform, but a video hosting platform, on par with YouTube. Because many people were banned from YouTube after the ADL did a sweep during that era, as well as the election and 19 stuff that people were talking about that led to people like Sneeko getting banned and signing a deal with Rumble, who would become their unofficial face, signing towards the end of 2022.
I didn't sign.
But in
I know you went to
2023, they
Rumble.
would
I
sign
didn't sign
many
with
new
them.
people, some political, but they wanted to move away from that identity and just be known as an alternative to YouTube. So they signed Gideon, Academics, and Kai and Speed to have their own show. Two of these likely didn't go the way they anticipated. Being that Kai and Speed thing was a hit when it was out, but fizzled and we don't even know what's going on with it now. And Gideon took such a massive shift in his content, becoming a fully devout Christian, that his viewership and draw for that type of content has significantly declined. But they have stuck to their word on free speech and have even been banned in France for not wanting to budge on that founding principle. At around the latter half of 2022, Trainwrecks was working alongside Eddie, the CEO of Kick and Stake founder, to launch a streaming platform to rival Twitch. The whole intention of this platform was a vehicle for their streamers to be able to promote and stream gambling to generate more revenue for Stake, since they could no longer do it on Twitch, and YouTube had banned Steve Will Do It for a small mistake of putting Stake.com on his video, although some people suspect other reasons. Trainwrecks would still be streaming on there, but the first signee to Kick was none other than Aiden Ross, who's a partner in the company, assisting in more signings. Hikaru, a chess streamer, Amaranth, a hot tub streamer / OF individual, Your Rage, Nick Merckx, and Bruce Dropomoff would be other signings that each had huge numbers attached that cannot be confirmed. And there are other streamers that moved to Kick because it was a better option for them to take stake deals and be able to fund their content, such as Ice Poseidon, the godfather of IRL streaming. Kick is similar to Apple launching Apple Music in that Kick is already a multi-billion-dollar gambling company that has so much more cash to throw around than Rumble. They even sponsored Drake and a $100 million Formula One racing sponsorship as well for their platform.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
IRL streaming and hot tub
I believe Netflix recently made they made a deal with them recently. I don't know if it's like from the same company, but I believe Netflix was promoting some type of like NASCAR racing thing. Let me see. Let's see. Where's the new? New on Netflix. Let's see. Yeah, it's called the Netflix Club. Sorry. It's streaming live on November 14th. The Formula One drivers. Oh wait, yeah. Formula One drivers and the PGA Tour golfers team up for a sports competition in Wayne Las Vegas golf course. Recorded live in English. Oh, that's what it was. Okay, I thought it was something else. Okay.
It became the go-to on Kick.
That was my bad.
They were 100% not free speech, but they were allowing nudity with almost no repercussion.
Oh, true.
Aiden Ross opening up porn on his browser, a streamer by the name of Heel Mike getting head live on stream, and countless moments of girls flashing themselves. Kick was an edgy, OF, and gambling funnel, and it continues to be with the rise of IRL streaming. See, IRL streaming is terrifying on Twitch. Any slight flash, small mistake, someone saying something bannable, which is many different things, could get you banned from Twitch. But those restrictions weren't something to worry about on Kick. IRL would grow on there, with an edgy teenager Neon becoming the biggest in the past several months. Jack Doherty being another one, turning it into reality TV, but also selling a dream. That IRL...
He has a face that he's going to punch. I don't know.
IRL is a big opportunity.
Sorry.
And you too can get popular and make money. And we've seen other popular streamers try it out. Bradley Martin and Steve Will Do It have live streamed. Kyle from Nelk says that Sneeko and Neon inspired him to IRL stream, and that's fine. But if you're not already huge, this is not only expensive, but unlikely to blow up too. The story Kick tries to sell, including Aiden Ross, is that Neon is a perfect example of someone that, quote, blew up on Kick. He wasn't as big on Twitch, and he went from a couple of thousand viewers to 100K plus on some nights.
But how many people helped him?
This is misleading because number one, he had the support and co-sign of Aiden Ross. Number two, he had a base already. Several thousand viewers is nothing to scoff at. It's actually massive. And number three, he has a crazy team in the back end that makes everything work with these clips on TikTok. So if you have to put in tons of work, labor, and money to spread your content on TikTok and other platforms to get people on your Kick stream, and you're not edgy enough to get banned, why would you stream on Kick? Just stream on Twitch at that point. It makes sense for Neon though, because not only is he connected, but he would also get banned on Twitch immediately for the type of content he makes. But IRL is the most expensive form of streaming. You have to have a good camera, a cameraman, microphones, make sure you have extra batteries, pay for transportation, pay for hotels, and you make the least money. Not to mention there are now classes to live streaming. Adam22 actually put out an amazing tweet saying the following: LOL, the new IRL streaming meta is that the rich streamers roll with security while everyone else gets repeatedly attacked with feces and pepper spray. This was in response to a clip of Ice Poseidon, who had been attacked twice in that week by random people. And it makes sense because look at the content that Neon creates, or Jack Doherty. Would they talk to any of these people like this without the security guards alongside them?
No.
Absolutely not.
No.
And Ice Poseidon is not even being straight up disrespectful to people like these guys are. But when you're IRL streaming, there are thousands of people who know your exact location in real time and could potentially harm you. I mean, we've seen swatting incidents, so many things. IRL streaming in the context of actually being outside in public, moving around in multiple different locations in the modern day is a privileged man's sport. Especially if you're one of those people that wants to accrue an edgy audience.
Yeah.
But really, that's the only way to compete for the most part for this audience.
I mean, yeah, right now, yeah, like it's always been a thing, right? The more edgy you are, the more chances you to become big. I mean, I know eventually he went down, but like the Johnny Somali guy, he was getting bigger and bigger because there are people out there. There's a market for it that people watch them. There's why he got donations. They want to see him get taken down and stuff. But he was getting bigger and bigger and bigger because of all the crap that he was doing. It worked for Aiden Ross. It worked for, I don't know if Kai and I did a lot of crappy stuff, like trying to get big or not. I know it worked for ISO Speed. It worked for Ice Poseidon. It worked for a lot of streamers. It worked for like even people like Miskits to a certain point. XUC, like they all did like crazy or like over the top kind of content, where it was seeming as like, what the hell, this is like bad. But like eventually they had the redemption arc and stuff like that, and so it wasn't as, they were, oh whatever, forget it, moving on kind of thing, right? So it's exactly what the like. There are people are willing to do a lot of crazy stuff in order to get that attention, And I understand. I do understand why they'll do it. I understand.
And look where it took Fusi. The truth is, Twitch is still king. A large part of these streamers on Kick are only making money by the amount of hours they're streaming, ratio to the number of viewers. Kick has no ads. The only ads you're getting on Rumble are the type you would get on YouTube in 2007 telling you that some white stuff on your tongue might kill you in 3 weeks if you don't buy some placebo supplement. Twitch also has the highest number of users, active viewers, and active streamers. Not to mention that they're owned by Amazon and have the benefits of Twitch Prime, as well as these corporate relationships with places like the NFL.
And the shows and stuff, yeah.
Twitch is also known for having been a primarily gaming streaming platform. In real life streaming, also known as IRL, was a bannable offense on Twitch. They wouldn't introduce an IRL section of streaming on their platform until December of 2016. So the majority of Twitch's user base and streamers are those who either watch people play games or are playing the games themselves. Just take a look. Go to kick.com at any time of the day. Click Browse and go to Category and scroll. There are no gamers on their platform in comparison to their gambling and IRL sections. League of Legends is the most popular game in the entire world, and Kick had less than 400 viewers for it while I was writing the script. Meanwhile, go to Twitch and do the same.
Yeah, Kick is not known for gaming platform. It's not known for that. It's known for the slots and IRL streaming. That's what it's known for. Yeah, 100%. I agree with that.
You can notice the difference. Twitch has been heavily criticized for many reasons. Some of the good ones are their lack of consistency when it comes to bans, their overly restrictive policy and ambiguous policy on speech, their favoritism, their lack of communication with some of their top streamers. But the one that Kick decided to harp on was the subscription splits. See, a subscription on Twitch is $5. For this amount, the average streamer gets 50% or $2.50.
Yeah.
Some of the bigger streamers would get a favorable deal in which they would get 70 or 75%, so $3.50 per subscription. And Kick was using it as marketing and making it known that they were giving 95% of the subscription revenue to the streamer.
And it works.
Sounds juicy, right? Well, that's not the whole story.
No.
If you or your parents are subscribed to Amazon Prime, which as of 2022, there were approximately 148.6 million people in the United States alone, you get a free subscription every month. Which means that if you subscribe to someone on Twitch via Prime, this eliminates any advertisements from playing when you watch them. You get a little badge in the chat. The streamer gets $2.50 or $3.50, and you pay nothing. Someone is far more likely to subscribe for no added fee on Twitch via Prime and eliminate ads than pay $5 to subscribe to someone on Kick, which doesn't even have ads to remove, and get just a badge. So Kick streamers are largely being carried by one of two things: deals or gifted subscribers.
What the hell?
Go to the live chat for a Neon stream and take notice of the usernames and count how many of them have a badge next to their name, which means they're a sub. There are almost none. You'd be hard pressed to find.
Yeah, that's what my friend Hado told me about. Because when when you go to XQC stream, the biggest subs that he got was from the owner, and that's pretty much it. Not people subscribe to those platforms at all, or give a lot of money to those platforms. Even though you have a 95% split, that is a very little compared to Twitch, because obviously people are just more comfortable subscribing to Twitch, even though the streamer's getting less money. It's a weird thing. And yeah, I mean, yeah, if you look at the platform, not people like to subscribe there for some reason. It doesn't. People are just like, they just don't want to. They're afraid of subscribing there, or maybe because they're already subscribed to Twitch, so they're like, why would I subscribe here? You already got the same emails on Twitch, and also we have BTTV, 7TV, you know, like those third-party emotes. So it's like, why would we subscribe? There's no point at this point.
Find a couple, because there's no incentive to sub. Partially his fault. He really isn't telling people to sub. And for streamers that do actually have subs, it is majority gifted subs from very few users. So the platform is a few whales that are carrying the amount of subs generated, whereas the distribution of unique subscribers without gifts on Twitch is far, far higher by an exponential measure. Overall, with Twitch Prime, gifted subs, ads, and the integrated deals Twitch has for their partners, it's way more likely for a successful partner on Twitch to make more money staying on Twitch than leaving for Kick. Which is why the only people who are successful on Twitch and left to Kick have a deal guaranteeing them a certain amount of money. That's more than they're getting paid on Twitch already. The intention of Kick and Rumble is to eventually get as many users as well as creators on their platform as well, because it's the thousands of streamers that Twitch has that makes them even more valuable as a platform.
And I said this, if they waited a little bit longer, Kick would have saved a lot of money on the exclusive deals, because Twitch recently announced you can multi-stream now, right? If they waited, obviously, who would have, like, unless you have like insider info, but if Kick waited to sign certain streamers, because they sign up for non-exclusive streams, right? Non-exclusive, like XQC. Would XQC eventually would have gone to Kick with when Twitch announced multi-streaming? I think he would have, for the gambling. I 100%. He probably would have gone there eventually for the gambling with the multi-streaming and all that kind of stuff. We were like, all right, cool. I can just stream their gambling. I personally believe he would have gone to Kick without the deal of the money. So like, Kick pretty much ripped themselves off. They pretty much did, in my opinion.
For the viewer, because there's a choice for any type of content that they may want to watch at any time of day. So part of growing is selling the dream to small streamers that Kick or Rumble is the better option for them, when that is most definitely not the case. Tidal tried doing the same thing, saying they paid more per stream, that they were for the artist because it was artist owned. But really, the only people that won were the artists who had ownership shares that got a bag when Tidal was sold.
Yeah.
The smaller artists got nothing. The small independent artists that were actually on Spotify at that time were the ones who benefited most. People like Russ, a friend of mine, Bazanji, an individual named Justin Stone, and many others were getting preferred playlisting from Spotify and building their monthly listeners and follower base, to the point that they're now perpetually in the algorithm, they're in release radar whenever they drop, and their old music that got tens of millions of streams still continues to garner streams and perform well.
Those are less competition.
There are likely hundreds of artists, maybe even thousands of artists, that you or I have never heard of, that are making 6 figures a year or more because they stayed on Spotify, quote, the big bad platform, during that era of the mid-2010s. Live streaming is no different. That doesn't mean that Kick or Rumble will cease to exist. These deals definitely will. But I think they'll become niche sites. For instance, Kick right now, it is pretty much exclusively IRL, OF, hot tubs, and gambling, which hot tubs just goes in with OF. With a large majority of their viewers being the quote WL community, it is kind of Aiden Ross and friends for the most part. Rumble is free speech, politics, geopolitics, debates, war, conspiracy theories, that type of niche. They have a deal with Power Slap and Dana White, which their audience merges well with what I just mentioned. And just think about it. Who is likely as a member of the audience to pay money and support? A kid that wants to see someone say edgy stuff on an IRL stream with chicks on it that can't even use his mother's Amazon Prime to subscribe.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Or someone who feels like their country is falling apart, their freedoms are being taken away, and this creator is being the voice that's speaking out for them because they can't without risking losing their corporate job.
Just kidding.
Twitch still rules every other section of live streaming, and YouTube is so valuable as a video sharing platform that everyone on Twitch posts on YouTube anyway. I'm betting long on Twitch.
Yeah, same here. I mean, like I said, Kick made some mistakes. They need to change it up the streaming game in a few months, because they are not really doing anything new. They're just copying what Twitch did. The only thing they have uniquely is the gambling now, and I guess you could say because it's entwined with crypto. But you see, online crypto is not really in good graces of people online for the most part. I'm not saying there's not a market for it. I'm just saying, like, it seems like a majority of people are not really in good graces with crypto. So yeah, I think, like, one of my friends said, like, yeah, I think Kick only has like a year left of this platform remaining relevant before people are just going to come back to Twitch, in my personal opinion, especially after the whole you could multi-stream now with Twitch and other streams. So yeah, I mean, we'll see what's gonna happen. I mean, hopefully it doesn't, because that's like jobs lost in general. So hopefully things get figured out. That's why I tried Kick. It just I wasn't really into Kick as much. I'm not saying there's bad people there only or anything like that. I was just like I felt like I never fit in there personally. I felt like I never, because I don't make edgy content. I make cartoons of all things of art. Um, and yeah, because I know one of my friends who's killing it on TikTok and on Kick recently. But he makes like incredible paintings of of women and of comic characters, but like make them sexy or like showing like their butt and all that, and it's realistic realism. And so obviously that's a good marketing thing to use, especially on a platform like Kick, TikTok, etc. So he's killing it. It's like for him that makes sense. For me, it doesn't really make sense, unless I decided to do that. But I'm not really gonna do that. That's not my style of art. So yeah. So yeah, I see what's going on. Let me see. I think streaming is a reliant on video platforms to build audience. So platforms like YouTube, Rumble can be both, but platforms like Twitch and Kick are top heavy. It makes it hard to stay on the platform once your favorite streamer stops streaming for the day. Been a fan for years. This content will like definitely be more music adjacent topics like this too. I must say like these platforms have rescaled where they shouldn't be under corporate control. I don't think it's a reach to say being banned from YouTube is in effect as a bad being bad from using Google. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. It's either half full or full of talentless people, who push in front of us. Our timeline like no other than other half talent, but don't know how to grow within Twitch. Yeah, I mean that makes, because again, the people that are like people that call like no talent, I personally believe they do have talent. They're talented on marketing or how to use their money for marketing purposes. Because like marketing is everything. You could be like you could be an artist who makes the best art in the world, right? But if you know how to market yourself, aka me, um, if you don't know how to market yourself, then you're not gonna grow as fast or as big or anything like that. It's just you just gotta know how to market. Like if you don't know how to do that, then you're kind of effed. It's just the way it goes, man. You could be like I said, and then there could be an artist who like I know artists said that, but like, let's just say, you could be one of the worst artists and not really that great artists, right? Just saying that. Um, but if you're great at marketing, you're like, oh, well, they're gonna get more attention because they're great at marketing. More people are seeing their paintings and stuff. You know what I mean? It's just how it works. It's just how it works. Okay, why did they not like fix? Oh, right, because I did it in this one. Yeah, I kind of messed up the shading a little bit. Yeah, like that. There you go. But yeah. So it's like, yeah, you can be the best artist out there, coolest artist out there, but if you know how to market, man, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. But that was a good video. I liked it a lot. I like it a lot. It's a really good video. I like it. I like it. I like it.